a show of hands, get a show of hands, who's followed the Cambridge Analytica story over the last couple of weeks? Okay, so most of the audience. And who is familiar with blockchain technology? Show of hands. Okay, and Bitcoin. And now one more, a little bit more advanced, IPFS, storage.io, and decentralized file storage systems like that. Okay, all right, thanks. So really good educated audience. That's what happens when you're in DC. A lot of you guys are way ahead of most of the people we talk to about what we're going to talk about tonight, which is preventing the next Cambridge Analytica. So for people that haven't followed the story, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background about Cambridge Analytica. So Cambridge Analytica is a very, very famous data science company based out of the UK. They actually have nothing to do with the University of Cambridge. The University of Cambridge was very quick to make that clear to everyone. We have nothing to do with them. And what they do is they do predictive analytics in an area where they combine data science with psychology, okay? And what's really interesting about their application of data science and psychology is they're using it to try to influence elections, most notably the United States presidential election, where they were behind the Trump campaign, okay? So data science in the political space, I mean, we're on the DC space, probably there's people in this room who've done data science for political campaigns. It's been around for years. We know that this stuff happens. Facebook and Google both backed the Obama campaign. What went wrong this time? What happened? Why are people so interested in this story when, like, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, people don't really care when Obama was using data science? Well, there's a couple of different things that they did that were a little bit unethical, we'll say. So, first thing is how they got it for research purposes, but then they didn't actually use it for research purposes. They just went and partnered up with Cambridge Analytica and then started to use that data to try to influence national elections here in the United States, okay? Not only that, but the way that they were doing it, they were introducing something called psychographics, which is something that I think a lot of people who hear about data scientists are scared of. It creates a lot of nervousness. When you hear about people using psychology and data to influence mass populations of millions of people to sway elections, that's the kind of stuff that gets people scared about what us as data scientists do on a daily basis. So those are the three reasons why I think this story really blew up. My company, Databook, we just had an article published 2 days ago from the Washington Journal. So what we're seeing, where I see here is not just a one-off incident. Really, it's a pattern of incidents that we've had over the last few years. You had the big LinkedIn data breach. If you haven't reset your password the last 2 years, do it because your password's out there. You could buy it for like 2 Bitcoin. You could buy the entire password data set. Equifax, half of the people in this room, your social security numbers are being traded online. You can use those to, with the Equifax data breach, 142 million Americans lost their social security numbers, all their personal identifiable information, huge, huge data breach. And then now we have Cambridge Analytica. So this makes me ask as data scientists, okay, what's next? What's the next big data breach? How bad is the next one going to be? Because it seems to me that every time we have one of these data breaches or one of these stories in the media, it just seems to get worse and worse and worse. And now we're at the point where people are losing faith in our elections and wondering, hey, are we all being manipulated by data scientists? So as a data scientist, that doesn't sound very good to me. So I want to solve this problem. So there's a lot of different ideas that people have on how do we solve this problem. The one that you've seen probably the most of is delete Facebook. And to be honest, like, I'm sure it's a really bad week for the Facebook growth team, but to be honest, it's just gonna be a blip on the radar. I'm sure like there'll be tens of thousands of people that delete their Facebooks, but come on, they have like over 1 billion users. It's not gonna really matter at the end of the day. So stopping using these services is not a really good solution in my opinion. I think we all benefit from these services. I think we'll all continue to benefit from these services. I don't think we should stop using them. So then the next thing people say is, okay, companies like Facebook, companies like Twitter, companies like Instagram, they need to have stronger corporate policies, stronger data controls, and absolutely, they absolutely should. Mind you, since this Facebook story came out, they've changed all their data policies and they're gonna be a lot stricter, and I don't think you're gonna see that kind of data breach coming from Facebook You probably will see it from other companies though, but it's not gonna stop hackers. It's not gonna stop an Equifax data breach. Every single time where you have a whole bunch of data all on one server, it's like a honeypot for every single hacker. The value of that data it's extremely, extremely valuable, and the more data you have, the more of a target you are. So I don't think we're gonna stop having data breaches for as long as we store our data on centralized servers. And then the last thing is more privacy laws, right? So Europe is releasing the biggest data privacy laws we've ever seen in history, GDPR. How many people are familiar with GDPR? Real quick, okay. So just to give you an idea, it basically gives you, the consumers, the right to have access to your data and the right to have your data deleted, okay? So it applies to all European businesses and all American businesses that have European data on their servers. So I think this is really a step in the right direction, but again, I doubt we're gonna see this in the United States for the next few years. It's just gonna be a lot harder to pass here in the US than it is in Europe. So my company, we've been thinking about this problem for a while, and we've been asking ourselves, like, what is the simplest solution to this problem? And what we really believe is the solution is just shifting control of data from the corporations to the consumer. So right now your data is in Facebook's data storages, it's in Twitter's data storages, it's on all these central servers, right, that you have no control over. And they're making billions and billions of dollars off of your data. You know, in 2017, the Economist said that the most valuable resource on the planet is data, and we're giving it out for free every single day. The next question I usually get from people when I tell them that is, okay, how much is my data actually worth, right? So that's a hard question to answer, but some of the estimates out there are that the value per American citizen by 2022 is gonna be $7,500 per year that these companies are making off your data. So when you realize how valuable your data is, how much money these companies are making off your data, it makes you ask yourself, why don't I have control over my old data? Why can't I get the profits from that data and have that money going into my pocket instead of some data broker's pocket? So imagine if you leverage blockchain technologies, because to be honest, for the last couple of years, we haven't been able to build this. The technologies have not existed. But in the last couple of years, we've had some new technologies evolve, blockchain being one of them, decentralized file storage systems like IPFS and storage.io being another one of them. And just quick overview of those if you guys haven't heard of them. So blockchain basically is like a trust mechanism that allows you to interact with other people without having to have any trust. Okay, so you can create decentralized services that are not controlled by any central authority, that operate on their own, and you can throw them up there and they'll operate on their own forever. No one can shut them down. Decentralized file storage, what allows you to do is have data or have files and have them thrown up on these decentralized systems, almost like BitTorrent, where you're taking a file and you're not just storing it on one server, you're taking little bits of it and you're storing it on thousands and thousands of different nodes all around the world, and everyone works together as a network to support each other's data and keep it online. So if one node on the network goes down, it doesn't matter. You can't stop these systems. There's a funny video on Facebook I watched yesterday. It was underneath it. It said, "This is governments trying to legislate blockchain." It was a guy trying to sweep the ocean. You can't stop these things. Once you get these systems up, they're unstoppable. So we've been thinking, hey, what if we took these technologies, these decentralized technologies, and we built a file storage system for the consumer? The consumer can put all of their data together in one place and they have control over it. And when businesses access it, the consumer decides which businesses have access to their data, which data those businesses have access to, and instead of those businesses paying a data broker, they're going to pay the consumer directly. So people always ask, okay, why would businesses do this, right? What's in it for them? We would go to the top data brokers in the world, Axiom, for example. I'm sure a lot of people in this room have bought data or are buying data from Axiom. They have great data, but it's not that great. It's better than the competition, but the accuracy rate of data from Axiom is only around 50%. So our company, we were just nominated for the AI Onyx Award, which is one of the top awards in AI research. It's being awarded in London in a couple weeks. And the reason why we were nominated for that is not because we build any AI tech. We don't build any AI tech at all. It's because the number one thing that's holding back consumer AI right now is quality of data. And the data brokers can't solve that problem. The only person that can solve that problem is the consumer. The consumer is the only one that can go and take all their data, put it together in one place, and verify that it's real. A third-party entity never will ever be able to do that. So we have to give control to the consumer. We have to have the consumer put their data together in some sort of centralized storage system that they control. And with the accuracy of data going from 50% to 100%, we're going to unlock the power of AI like we've never seen before. It's going to be orders of magnitudes of shift that, like, I can't even imagine what's going to happen once we unlock this. You'll also have a lot more access to more data. So the data brokers, they have access to some stuff, but some stuff they can't sell, right? Whereas you as a consumer, you can sell whatever you want, right? Like they can't, things like your credit card transactions, things like that, your location data, a lot of that stuff, they don't provide that because it's too sensitive. But if I'm a consumer and I say, hey, I want to go sell that, if the price is right, I'm able to do that, right, if I want to. So businesses are going to have access to a lot more data. So better quality, more data, and it's going to be easier to access because companies like our company, we're going to build really easy suites of tools with APIs, with web apps where businesses can go in there and interact with these data sets very easily. And like a first-year computer programmer would be able to get up and running with this in about 15 minutes. So that's what we're doing at Databook. Our product, you'll be able to log in. When you log in, we'll stop all the data brokers, all the major data brokers from selling your data. So the Axioms, the Equifaxes, those companies, we're going to opt you out of all those so that they can no longer sell your data. And now you're going to have much more control over what data is up there. I opted out of these guys myself. I used to get so much junk mail. You can ask my wife, I get no junk mail anymore. It's gone, it stopped. After about 2 weeks, it was all gone. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to connect all your data to create your own data profile, and that data profile is going to be controlled with Ethereum smart contracts that only you have control over. And the data is not going to be stored on any centralized server, it's going to be stored on a decentralized file system that only you can control, right? And then the third thing is once you build that data profile, what you're going to be able to do is have control over that and be able to monetize it, control which businesses have access to your data, which parts of your data they have access to, and when they do access it, the companies that you do support, you're going to get paid for the value of your data. We have a really strong team. We have some of the top people in the world working on this. We just recruited a director of engineering he spent the last 4.5 years working with the founder of the World Wide Web, Sir Tim Berners-Lee, from MIT, running MIT's Solid project, which basically tried to solve this, but in an academic setting. Now he left that project to join ours because he wants to now commercialize that research and take it out into the main space. We also have one of the top designers in the world, Gleb Kuznetsov, Russian, who normally designs for Steve Jobs' wife, Lorraine Jobs. He's an award-winning designer, has been rated top designer in the world, he's been rated most influential designer in the world. And we're continuing to grow our team. We have multiple PhDs. We're looking for more people in the DC tech space to contribute to this project. So if you have some experience on the coding side or on the data science side, and you're interested in contributing to a project like this that's really going to fix some of the most foundational problems on the internet, come see us afterwards and let us know, because we'd love to get as many people in the DC community participating in this project as possible and really helping to reshape the future of the internet and solve this problem, which I truly believe, is the biggest problem on the internet today. That's all I have for you today. Tweet us, Databook1, or visit our website, and there's my phone number and email if you want to ping me personally. Thanks guys for your time.